Maybe I'm weird for, thinking that's funny. Some of you are probably like, my God, that seems pretty gross. Doesn't seem funny at all. Seems pretty serious. And who knows, maybe it was, I don't know. But what's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to tell you guys a pretty hilarious anxiety story. Not everything's funny, and actually most things are not really funny when it comes to anxiety, but if you can find some moments in your past to kind of dig up and laugh about, smile about, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's healthy. The mid to latter part of my recovery was filled with a lot of sarcasm towards my anxiety and kind of laughing at some of the things that I did in my past or things that happened to me. Videos like I made yesterday where I talked about my darkest day of anxiety, I can't even bring myself today, years later, to laugh about that. So there are some moments, and you can pick and choose some things to joke around with yourself. It's not great to just make fun of people and laugh at people, don't get me wrong. That's not something you're supposed to do, but when it comes to yourself, I don't see anything wrong with that. It actually helps speed up recovery. It helps speed up my recovery. So be sure to infuse that into your little routine or your plan if you haven't tried to do that. It can really help. So I'm gonna tell that story today. This is actually my third time trying to record this video. The first time around, my son's phone kept going off. I wanted to throw it through a window because it just kept happening, and I was trying to be patient with it, but it just kept happening. And then the second time, I'm up here where I'm at now, and the cat jumps up on a ledge and meowed through the whole thing, so I ended up having to start over. And then the last time around, I got through the whole video and I realized that I had never pressed play. So yeah, it's one of those days, but we're gonna do it this time. We're gonna make it happen. But if you have health anxiety or any type of anxiety disorder, please do me a favor and like this video to help spread awareness, to get this video out to other people so they can relate. And that's kind of what this video is about. It's storytelling, it's relating with you, making you feel less alone. And be sure to share your stories or funny stories or scenarios, things that have happened to you, regardless of what category of anxiety that you deal with. Share that down below. We're a community here. I want you guys to get to know each other and talk to each other as best as you can. I know the comment section of YouTube is not the best kind of way of communicating out of all the other social media platforms, but I still think it can be effective, and you can make friends here for sure. So I had health anxiety. At this time, I was staying with my dad. This is probably about a year into my health anxiety. I had cardiophobia. Obviously, I've talked about that many times, been very vocal and honest about that. So I was afraid of all things heart. So any type of chest pains, numbness, tingling. I had a fast heart rate all the time, and trust me, the cardiophobia ties into this. That's why I'm explaining. Very fast heart rate all the time, all throughout the day, even whenever I was at rest. So I was always concerned and checking that. I had a very high blood pressure, even at rest, and whenever I would have panic, it would skyrocket. So I was very concerned about that. I had white coat syndrome, so I'm always checking my heart rate, my blood pressure, having chest pains, having the numbness and tingling, and I was basically convinced that I had some type of heart problem. So this also led me to fear things like aneurysms, strokes, blood clots, clogging of my arteries, arrhythmias, heart failure. You get it. Those of you that have cardiophobia, all things heart basically, and artery-wise. So I had this going on, and this was just another typical day of my anxiety. I would wake up with crushing back pain, which I did this morning, and I would wake up with trapped gas, which took 3 hours to work out. I know that's TMI, but I'm here to be honest with you. I don't know if any of you guys wake up in the morning with either horrible back pain, like you slept on a bag of bricks or on the street, or if you wake up with just trapped gas in your stomach and you have stomach pains for the first 2 to 3 hours of your day, because I would deal with that. So that would happen. I would wake up, this sucks, another day in my life, dealing with anxiety. I wonder what the day is gonna bring. Do I even want to try to get to work today? And then bam, I would have usually at least a small panic attack every morning. If I drank the night before, it was a living hell. But I had a couple small panic attacks this morning, and then I would kind of do the usual. I'd lay around in bed and just sit there, maybe try to doze back off, and this would happen for about an hour. And then finally I would get up out of bed and try to get my day started. But a quick tip to you guys dealing with anxiety, and this is something that I didn't get for years, and once I finally started doing it, things got better. Do not sit there and lay in the bed and just sit in your own filth all morning. That's what I would do. Sit there, I'd wake up and automatically start focusing on my symptoms, focusing on how bad my day was gonna be. A lot of you just get on your phone and scroll through social media and crap like that. Don't do that. That's not a way to start your day. So I was already setting my day up for failure. So this morning was the same. So I would finally get up, and then of course, you want to use the restroom and take your shower. So I'm going to tell you about 2 little fears that I have regarding the bathroom situation. Okay. The first one was the shower. Okay. I would take hot showers. At the time, I didn't know that cold showers was good for your anxiety. To this day now, I still take cold showers. I take 2 a day. So if you've never taken cold showers for your anxiety, start doing some research and looking at that. Very, very beneficial. The shower would trigger me. Okay, so I would have panic attacks in the shower, and if I didn't, I was always on the verge of one. And the big reason was, the first big reason was that the heat, the steam would make me feel like I was suffocating or that I couldn't breathe. I also felt like the heat made my blood pressure go up and my heart rate go up. A lot of you that have anxiety, you know that whenever it's hot outside and humid, that our anxiety really flares up, and I think a lot of it is because the heat will kind of make our heart rate and our blood pressure go up a little bit. And then that feeling that I couldn't breathe. So I always felt like I was going to have a heart attack because of my hot shower. So oftentimes I'm hurry up and I'm speeding through, trying to hurry up and wash my body. Another thing, I was afraid of dying naked in the shower. I didn't want to have a heart attack or pass out in the shower, fall down, the water just like turns me into a raisin or a prune, and then somebody finds me like 3 hours later, like all shriveled up and, whatever, laying there dead in the shower, if they ever found me. So that was a big fear of mine. I know it's morbid, but hey, I know a lot of you probably thought that as well. Another big fear that I had regarding the bathroom situation was having to sit on the toilet to, yes, do number 2. And through the strain or struggle, whether it be a lot or not much at all, I would have a heart attack, right? Like Elvis Presley style. Just like having to go to the restroom, I'm straining, and then I'm going to have some type of heart issue or a stroke as a result. So my fear was that I would do my business, pass out, have a heart attack, fall on the floor, I'm half naked, the worst part, right? The worst half. And they're gonna have a nice little surprise in the toilet to make my death just the most humiliating thing ever. A toilet full of goodies, and then me laying with, all my business out there, okay? In a nasty, smelly situation. That was like really bad. It was way up there on my fears. Funny, but but straight up, it was up there. It was a real concern for me. So this day, I go in there and I turn on the hot water, and I'm not having the greatest of mornings. It was a typical day, but a typical day for me was still pretty horrible. So I'm in there. I'm trying to hurry up and get done with what I'm doing. So I'm trying to hurry up fast as I can. I would drop soap. I'd drop my stuff, trying to hurry up, and I had this urge to sneeze. And, it's whatever. And I go to sneeze. I do achoo. And whenever I sneeze, blood goes everywhere. All over the shower curtain, the wall right there below the shower head, on this wall. I'm talking about a blood explosion. Now, to give you a little back history on this, whenever I was a teenager, I had issues with my nose bleeding a lot, and it would be hard for it to stop, almost to the point where I almost had to get my some veins or capillaries burned in my nose so it wouldn't happen as often. But I never had that done. But in high school I would have that issues. I didn't have that a lot in my early adulthood, but this was a very bad nosebleed, and I'm talking about a sneeze erupted it. So I have health anxiety now. I didn't flip out about it as much in high school, but now that I have health anxiety, this was like a horror, film. Like I'm sitting there already mid-panic. My heart rate is high, mind you. My blood pressure is high. High heart rate and high blood pressure mixed with a nosebleed, bad news. So, just imagine just like blood everywhere. And I was like, sitting there, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to die. I'm about to bleed out. That's what I thought. And it was pretty scary at the time, I'm not gonna lie. It's not all funny. I just think how everything came together was just too perfect. I think how it blended and the circumstances make it funny to me. I don't know, maybe I'm weird and twisted for this, but then I was just like dripping, like almost like squirting blood, because of my heart rate and my blood pressure being through the roof. So this is a nightmare situation because now I'm full panic attack. And if you have a panic attack and a nosebleed at the same time, it is extremely freaking hard to stop it. So I spent the next 20 minutes like finding toilet paper and, shoving it up my nose and trying to calm myself down at the same time. And then finally I was able to get it to clot and, it stopped, and then I was able to kind of bring my blood pressure and everything down. But even the next day after that had happened, I kind of looked at it, I kind of laughed. I was like, my God, man, like how, it can't get much worse than that. Having health anxiety, you're in a, you're kind of in a mid panic attack in the shower, trying to hurry up because you fear dying in that shower, and you sneeze and blood goes everywhere. And it's like making your worst fears come to life. There was a moment like I was like, because I was trying to wash the blood off of the curtains and everything and off me. And while I'm doing it, it's just like falling out. And I was just like, oh my God, I really am going to die in this bathtub. And instead of me just having a heart attack, it's going to be full of blood. You know what I mean? It's going to be gross. So I don't know. I thought that was a funny story, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. And I have tons of different stories where, things kind of lined up, and I'll start sharing those. But, if you have anything to add, or if you think it's funny, you can always let me know down below. Maybe I'm weird for, thinking that's funny. Some of you are probably like, my God, that seems pretty gross. Doesn't seem funny at all. Seems pretty serious. And who knows? Maybe it was. I don't know. But I survived it just like I survived all the other scares that I had and all the other fears that I had. And health anxiety, it's really tough. It's complicated. There's a lot of things going on at once. We're obviously we're anxious. We have anxiety problems. We have problems with negative thinking. But then it made our symptoms so bad that, we started to just focus on symptoms instead of focusing on what started the actual anxiety. And that's why I suffered for a long time. And I went through days like this a lot. It was no longer fixing what started the symptoms. It was just trying to get the symptoms to go away and battle them every day. And if that's the way that you approach your recovery, I'm just going to let you know this is going to drag on. It's going to drag on. You have to work on what starts this. And also you have to face your fears. Whatever fears that you have, whatever you're avoiding, whatever you're avoiding. Some people, you may avoid showers altogether, I've heard of people that they avoid taking baths or showers because they get triggered so much. I avoided so many things. So if you're avoiding things, guys, write all the things down that you avoid. You're probably gonna be like, holy crap, that's a lot of things. Write all those things down and then start tackling them. Start exposing yourself to them. If you can try the slow route to exposure, or you can, speed it up and be more aggressive. I was pretty aggressive when I finally got to that breaking point. I was like, I'm not gonna let anxiety keep me from doing all these things. So that's a big part of your anxiety recovery as well. And then a lot of you guys with health anxiety, remember, you got to go from external reassurance to internal reassurance. If you're relying on checking vitals all day, if you're relying on constant testing after you've gotten multiple opinions, which is important, see a doctor for that. I don't want to leave that out. But if you're constantly talking to somebody about your symptoms every single day, like my mom was a nurse, so I would talk to her all the time. I had to stop doing that. You got to cut off all the external reassurance. And Googling, I'll throw that in there. Hell, to some extent, maybe, my videos, being like hours of your day. You got to start telling yourself that you're okay and that you're healthy and that be good enough for you. And you're never going to build that internal dialogue or that internal voice or reassurance if you're constantly seeking the external reassurance, right? So that's a big part of health anxiety. Also, it's like people with health anxiety, we fear that the symptoms that we're having is a disease. We fear that these symptoms are killing us. So I think that makes things harder. We had this, new awakening and extreme heightened fear of death that we probably didn't have before. So that's like traumatized us and has really affected us. So there's a lot of different things that have to come together for you to be able to recover. And that's why I tell people it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I'm not going to BS you. It was really, really freaking hard. And I struggled a lot. But once I finally got a plan together, I was consistent with it. I was patient. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself. I didn't have a timetable for my recovery. Things became smoother and I made a lot of progress and I eventually recovered 100%. And I recovered from having multiple panic attacks every single day. I recovered from the crippling health anxiety. This isn't a joke. What I'm doing right here is not a joke. It's not a front. None of that. None of that. If I didn't recover, or if I still struggled with this, I would not be doing coaching or a course or anything like that. I'm not that kind of person. So I really overcame it, and it was super, super hard. And I just felt led to start this channel to help other people, and that's what I've been doing for years. So I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you want to hear more stories, let me know. I'll do some more storytelling. Some of them may be dark like yesterday, and some of them may be goofy and funny like today. But know that you're not alone. That's the important thing. You know, a lot of you guys are having similar situations to the story I told today, you know. But guys, if you want extra help with your recovery, you know, I talked about putting a plan together and, you know, having a strategy and, you know, having the right tools. Elite Anxiety Bootcamp, my course will help you with that. I'm telling you, the reviews are coming in pretty fast now. A lot of people are getting great results, and it's changing a lot of lives. So, you know, the link to that's going to be in the description, and it's in the first pinned comment. That supports me too, by the way. You know, you're going to get some great tools and strategy to help you recover, and it allows me to keep making these videos. So if you've gotten that course, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It allows me to continue to make this content. I appreciate it. You know, I see some people pretty much on every video commenting saying the course is amazing, the course is great. So I love that feedback. And it also encourages other people to give it a shot. And if you haven't, I encourage you to give it a shot. But please follow all of my other social networks. My TikTok, I'm being very regular on there again. Over 150,000 people on there. Twitter, you know, that's another place to get my videos. I would love to start posting more quotes and things on there. I just like my audience to grow a little bit first before I put all that time and effort into it. So join my Twitter, my Instagram, you know, all the Facebook communities. Join those if you haven't. It's a good place to get that initial reassurance, to find out that you're not alone. I mean, there's thousands of people going through this that are in that group, or in those groups, excuse me. If you are new here and you enjoyed the content, please subscribe. And please, if you got any value, if you laughed or anything, please like this video. It would mean the world to me. But until next time, guys, you know what to do. Keep fighting. I will talk to you all tomorrow.